The clock on the wall showed 2:47 a.m. Outside, the city slept under a blanket of silence. But inside a small, dim apartment on Maple Street, Mary Thompson was still awake. Her eyes were heavy, her body tired, but her hands kept moving. She was ironing uniforms not for herself, but for her daughter, Lily. The kitchen light flickered softly. A pile of clothes waited beside her. Empty coffee cups and unpaid bills filled the table. The sound of the iron's hiss was the only thing breaking the quiet. Mary stopped for a second and looked at the small photo frame near her. It was a picture of her and Lily from when Lily was only 5. Both were smiling, the kind of smile that hides pain behind it. Mary whispered, almost to herself. "Just a little more, Mary, just one more shirt." She pressed the iron again, even though her hand trembled. Her back hurt, but she didn't care. She had to finish. Rent was due, groceries were short, and school fees were coming soon. Across the small hallway, Lily, now 12, peeked through the door. She watched her mother with sleepy eyes, the woman who worked all day at a diner and all night cleaning offices. Lily wanted to tell her mom to rest, but she was scared. Every time she tried, Mary would smile and say, "I'm fine, sweetheart. Mommy's strong." But that night, Lily saw something different. Her mother's shoulders were shaking. She coughed hard, covering her mouth with a napkin. When she pulled her hand away, a small spot of blood showed. Mary quickly turned the napkin over, pretending nothing happened. Lily's heart dropped. She closed her door quietly and sat on her bed, hugging her old teddy bear. She whispered, "Please, God, don't let Mom get sick." Morning came too soon. The alarm buzzed at 5:30 a.m., but Mary was already up, standing by the stove, making pancakes. Her uniform for the diner was freshly ironed, the same one she wore every day. "Good morning, sweetheart," she said softly as Lily walked into the kitchen, rubbing her eyes. "Mom, did you sleep?" Lily asked. Mary smiled, pouring syrup on a pancake. "Of course. A little nap is all I need." Lily didn't believe her. She saw the dark circles under her mother's eyes, the redness around her nose, and the way her hands shook when she picked up the coffee mug. Mary noticed her daughter staring and quickly changed the subject. "Eat fast, honey. The bus will be here soon." When Lily went to pack her bag, Mary took out a small brown envelope from a kitchen drawer. She looked at the label written in her own handwriting. "Emergency fund, Lily's college." It wasn't much. Just a few dollars saved from tips and spare change. But to Mary, it was everything. She kissed the envelope gently before tucking it back in her purse. Later that day, at the diner, Mary moved fast between tables, refilling coffee and smiling at customers. She was good at hiding her pain. "Mary, table 6 needs the check," her co-worker shouted. "Got it," she answered, forcing a bright tone. But her steps were slow, her breathing short. She had been coughing all morning. Her boss noticed and said sharply, "Mary, if you're sick, go home. I can't have you collapsing on the floor again." She wiped her hands on her apron. "I'm fine, sir. Just a little tired." He sighed but said nothing. Everyone in the diner knew Mary, the woman who never took a day off, who never complained, who smiled even when her hands shook. That night, after her second job cleaning offices, Mary walked home under the cold November wind. Street lights flickered above her. Her shoes were old, and her coat barely kept her warm. As she climbed the stairs to her apartment, she felt dizzy. The hallway lights blurred. She grabbed the railing, breathing heavily. For a moment, she thought she would faint. But she took a deep breath and whispered, "Not now, Mary. Lily needs you." When she reached the door, she fumbled with the keys and accidentally dropped her purse. The contents spilled on the floor: coins, a lipstick, and that small brown envelope. Mary didn't notice. She picked up everything in a rush, too tired to check carefully. A few seconds later, she entered the apartment and went straight to Lily's room. Lily was already asleep, hugging her blanket. Mary smiled softly, brushed a strand of hair from her daughter's face, and whispered, "You'll have a better life, sweetheart. I promise." Then she went to her own bed, still in her work uniform, and closed her eyes. But outside her room, under the dim hallway light, the brown envelope still lay on the floor, half hidden under a shoe. The corner showed a few words in Mary's shaky handwriting. "For a better life." Moments later, Lily woke up for water. As she walked past, her eyes caught the envelope. Curious, she picked it up and read the words. Her small fingers traced the letters slowly. She opened it. Inside were a few dollar bills and a short note. It said, "No matter what happens, Lily must go to college. I'll make sure of it." Lily's throat tightened. She looked toward her mother's room. The sound of coughing came from behind the door. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "Mom, you're not okay, are you?" The screen fades to black. Soft piano music plays. A narrator's voice breaks the silence. She worked every hour, every day, for a dream she might never see, but sometimes, the smallest envelope can open the biggest truth. Morning sunlight tried to enter through the thin curtains, but the small apartment still felt cold. Mary woke up to the sound of her alarm. Her body felt heavier than usual. Every bone ached. Her chest burned when she breathed. Still, she got up. Still, she smiled. Because that's what Mary always did. She looked at the small clock on the kitchen wall. It was almost 6 a.m. time to leave for the diner. As she put on her uniform, she coughed again, long, deep, and painful. She leaned against the counter, holding her chest. A small drop of blood touched her palm. She quickly wiped it away with a tissue, afraid Lily might see. Lily came out from her room just then, still half asleep, her backpack on her shoulder. "Morning, Mom." Mary turned quickly and forced a smile. "Good morning, sweetheart. Did you sleep well?" Lily looked at her mom closely. "You don't look okay. Maybe you should stay home." Mary laughed softly, pretending to be fine. "Don't worry. Moms don't get sick. We're made of steel." She kissed her daughter's forehead and added, "Now go on, or you'll miss the bus." Lily hesitated but left. As soon as the door closed, Mary sat down on the chair, exhausted. Her hands were shaking. She whispered to herself, "You're fine, Mary. You just need to push through one more day." At the diner, the usual smell of coffee and pancakes filled the air. The morning rush had already started. Mary tied her apron and began taking orders, smiling at customers like always. But her co-worker, Jenny, noticed something. "Hey Mary, you're pale. Are you sure you're okay?" Mary nodded. "Just tired, that's all." Jenny frowned. "You should see a doctor." Mary shook her head. "Doctors cost money, Jen. I can't afford that right now." She walked away before Jenny could say anything else. Hours passed. Mary kept working, her energy fading fast. When she leaned to pick up a dropped spoon, her vision blurred. The room spun. She grabbed the counter to steady herself. Her boss, Mr. Carter, saw her and sighed. "Mary, go home. You're scaring the customers. You look like you're about to fall." Mary forced a laugh. "If I go home, I don't get paid. I'm fine, really." Mr. Carter muttered something but walked away. He had seen hard-working people before, but no one like Mary. She worked like her life depended on it. Maybe it did. That night, After finishing her diner shift, Mary went to her second job cleaning offices downtown. The building was quiet and empty, the kind of silence that makes you hear your own heartbeat. As she pushed the mop across the shiny floor, she coughed again, harder this time. She dropped the mop and held her chest. Her knees hit the ground. For a few seconds, she couldn't breathe. The world felt blurry and far away. She whispered weakly. "Not here, please, not here." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she tried to stand up. Somehow, she did. Somehow, she kept going. When her shift ended at midnight, she walked slowly through the empty streets. Her reflection in shop windows looked like a stranger, thin, tired, and fading. The next morning, Lily waited at the bus stop. Her teacher, Mrs. Green, stood nearby. "Good morning, Lily. How's your mom?" Lily smiled shyly. "She's okay. Just tired." Mrs. Green sighed. "She's working too hard, sweetheart. She needs rest." Lily nodded quietly, but her chest felt heavy. She knew her teacher was right. That evening, when Lily came home, she found the lights still on. Her mom was lying on the kitchen floor, half asleep, still wearing her uniform. Her hand was clutching a dish towel, as if she had fallen while cleaning. "Mom!" Lily cried, running to her. Mary woke up slowly, her face pale. "I'm fine, honey. I just slipped." "No, you're not," Lily said, tears in her eyes. "You were sleeping on the floor." Mary smiled weakly. "I just needed a little rest." "Don't cry, sweetheart. Everything's okay." Lily hugged her mother tightly. But inside, she knew things were not okay. Her mother was getting worse every day and still refused to stop. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She sat by the window, looking at the stars, thinking. She remembered the envelope she found, the one that said emergency fund, Lily's college. She took it out again and opened it. Only a few dollars were inside, but the note made her eyes tear up again. No matter what happens, Lily must go to college. Lily whispered. "Mom, you're saving money for me, but you're losing yourself." She looked around the small apartment, the bills, the broken chair, the flickering light bulb. She wanted to help, but she was just a kid. Still, a small spark of determination grew in her heart. She thought, if Mom won't ask for help, maybe I will. The next morning, while Mary was at work, Lily borrowed her friend's old phone. She sat near the window where sunlight hit her face and started recording. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Hi, my name is Lily Thompson. I'm 12. My mom works 2 jobs. She's really tired and really sick. But she still smiles for me every day. I don't want her to die. I just want her to rest." She stopped, wiping her tears. Then she whispered. "If anyone sees this, please, help my mom." She posted the video on social media, not expecting anything. But something inside her, a quiet hope, told her this was just the beginning. The screen fades to black. Soft emotional music rises. Sometimes, the strongest people are the ones who break in silence. But when love speaks, the world listens. The next morning, the small apartment on Maple Street was quiet. Mary had already left for her diner job before sunrise, as usual. But this time, something had changed, not in her world, but in Lily's. Lily sat on the edge of her bed, clutching her friend's old phone. Her hands were still shaking from what she did the night before. She had posted a video, a small 1-minute clip of herself talking about her mom. She thought no one would watch it. But when she opened the app that morning, her heart nearly stopped. The video already had over 10,000 views. The comment section was full of strangers. "This broke my heart. Your mom is a hero. How can we help?" Lily stared at the screen, tears welling up. People cared. The world had finally noticed her mother's pain, the pain she hid so well. That afternoon, Lily made another video. She used short clips she had secretly recorded over the months: her mom cooking late at night, cleaning offices, ironing clothes, smiling even when she was coughing. Over the video, she added her own soft voice. "This is my mom, Mary Thompson. She works every day and every night. She never complains. She just wants me to have a better life. But now she's sick, and she won't stop working. Please, if you see this, just send her love. Maybe it will make her smile." She uploaded it and closed the phone, her heart pounding. By evening, the video had exploded. Hundreds of thousands of people watched it. Big accounts started sharing it with captions like "The world needs more moms like Mary." Local news channels reposted the video. One of them even wrote, "12-year-old girl's video about her hard-working mom brings the internet to tears." Lily's inbox was full of messages, people offering help, donations, and kind words. But she didn't know how to tell her mom. Mary hated attention. She didn't want pity. She wanted to stand on her own feet. Still, Lily knew she had to tell her eventually, especially when people started showing up. That night, Mary came home late as usual. Her face looked pale, her steps slow. She dropped her purse on the table and sighed deeply. Lily helped her take off her coat. "Long day?" she asked. Mary smiled weakly. "Every day is long, sweetheart. But as long as you're happy, I'm fine." Lily bit her lip. She wanted to say something about the videos, the messages, the people who cared, but the words stuck in her throat. Instead, she hugged her mom tightly. "I love you, Mom." Mary smiled and kissed her forehead. "I love you more." The next morning, everything changed. When Mary walked outside to leave for work, she noticed something strange. A small group of people stood near the building entrance. Some held flowers. Others had cameras. One of them stepped forward and said, "Mrs. Thompson, we saw your daughter's videos. You're an inspiration." Mary froze. "My daughter's what?" Before she could ask anything more, a reporter approached gently. "Ma'am, your daughter posted a message about you online. The world has fallen in love with your story." Mary felt dizzy. She didn't understand what was happening. They handed her a tablet showing the video, the one Lily had made. As Mary watched, tears filled her eyes. Seeing herself through her daughter's eyes broke something deep inside her. Every moment she had tried to hide, every late-night shift, every tired smile was there for the world to see. But instead of judgment, people sent kindness. "You're a hero, Mary. You deserve rest. You made me call my mom today." Mary covered her mouth with her hand, unable to speak. Inside the apartment, Lily was terrified. She had wanted to help, but what if her mom got angry? When Mary walked in, Lily stood still, clutching her hands together. "Mom. I can explain." Mary didn't say a word at first. She sat down on the couch and took a deep breath. Finally, she looked up at her daughter, her eyes wet but soft. "Sweetheart, did you really do all that?" Lily nodded slowly. "I just wanted people to know how hard you work. I wanted them to help you. You're always helping everyone, Mom. I just wanted to help you for once." Mary's lips trembled. She pulled Lily into her arms and whispered, "You didn't do wrong, honey. You did something brave. I didn't know people could care like that." They both cried together quietly, holding onto each other like the world outside didn't exist. By that evening, donations had started pouring in. A local bakery offered Mary free meals for a year. A kind stranger from Texas paid her unpaid bills. Someone even started a fundraiser called Help Mary Rest. Within 24 hours, it had raised thousands of dollars. Mary sat at the table, looking at the numbers on the screen. Her hands covered her mouth again. This can't be real. Lily smiled through her tears. It's real, Mom. People care. They really do. Mary reached across the table and held her daughter's hand. You've given me more than I ever dreamed of, Lily. Not just help, you gave me hope. The camera zooms in on their hands, one small, one worn and tired, holding tightly. Soft music plays in the background as the narrator speaks. Sometimes, love is quiet. Sometimes, it speaks through actions. But once in a while, love becomes a voice that changes everything. Screen fades to black. The morning sun felt different that day. It wasn't heavy or cold, it felt soft, warm, and full of quiet hope. For the first time in many years, Mary Thompson woke up without the sound of her alarm. She had forgotten to set it the night before. But when she opened her eyes, she didn't feel panic like usual. She felt peace. Then came a knock on the door. A gentle, unexpected knock. Mary frowned and got up slowly. Who could that be this early? She whispered. Lily was still asleep, curled under her blanket. Mary walked to the door, still in her robe, her hair messy, her eyes tired. When she opened the door, she froze. Outside stood a crowd of people, neighbors, strangers, a few reporters, even a man holding a bouquet of flowers. And behind them, a news van with cameras. Mary blinked, confused. I think you have the wrong apartment. A woman in a blue jacket stepped forward and smiled kindly. No, ma'am. We're here for you. You're Mary Thompson, right? Mary nodded slowly. What's going on? The woman handed her an envelope and said softly. People saw your daughter's videos. The whole town has been talking about you. We wanted to help. Mary opened the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was a check, not small, not huge, but enough to change everything. There was also a note. Thank you for showing us what real love looks like. Rest now, Mary, you've done enough. Mary covered her mouth, trying not to cry. I don't understand, why would people do this for me? The woman smiled. Because kindness is still alive. You reminded us of that. Behind her, someone started clapping. Then another. Soon, everyone outside the apartment was applauding. Lily woke up to the sound and ran to the door, rubbing her eyes. Mom? What's happening? Mary turned to her daughter, tears running down her face. Honey. I think, the world just showed up for us. Reporters asked to speak to Lily, but she was shy. One of them said softly. Your video made millions cry. You gave people hope. Lily looked at the camera and said quietly. I just wanted my mom to rest. That's all. Mary hugged her tight. And now I can, she whispered. In the following days, kindness poured in from every direction. Local restaurants delivered free meals. A nearby clinic offered Mary a full medical checkup and treatment free of charge. People sent letters, cards, and messages saying things like, You remind me of my mom. Your story gave me strength. Thank you for being you. Mary spent hours reading them all, often crying, sometimes laughing. For the first time in years, she didn't have to rush. For the first time, she could breathe without fear. One evening, she sat on the balcony with Lily, watching the sunset. The sky was painted in soft orange and pink, a picture of peace. Mary said quietly. You know, when your dad left, I thought my life was over. I thought I'd never be enough for you. Lily looked up at her. Mom, you were more than enough. You were everything. Mary smiled and brushed her daughter's hair. You saved me, Lily. Not just with those videos, but with your love. Lily smiled through her tears. No, Mom. You saved me first. They both laughed softly, and the moment felt like magic, the kind that heals old wounds. A week later, Mary went back to the diner, not to work but to say goodbye. Her co-workers hugged her tightly. Jenny, her closest friend, said with tears in her eyes, "The place won't be the same without you, Mary." Mary smiled warmly. "It's not goodbye forever. Just for now. I need to rest, and live a little." Mr. Carter, her boss, handed her a small gift, a watch. "You're always helping others keep time. Maybe it's time you enjoy your own." Mary looked at the watch and laughed softly. "Thank you. I think you're right." That evening, Mary and Lily returned home to find one last surprise waiting on their doorstep, a big white box with a ribbon. The card on top read, "From everyone who watched your story, thank you for reminding us what love looks like." Inside the box were hundreds of letters, drawings, and messages from people all over the country, children, mothers, even soldiers overseas. Mary sat down on the floor and read one after another. One note from a little girl said, "My mom works hard too. I hugged her today because of your story." Mary's tears fell onto the page. She looked at Lily and said softly, "Do you see this, sweetheart? You didn't just help me, you helped the whole world remember love." Lily hugged her mother tightly. "You deserve every bit of it, Mom." The camera slowly zooms out, showing Mary and Lily surrounded by letters, sunlight filling the room. Soft piano music plays as the narrator's voice says, "When one heart shines bright enough, it can light up 1,000 more." A mother's love gave her daughter hope, and that hope gave the world faith again. It had been 3 months since the morning that changed everything. The small apartment on Maple Street no longer felt like a place of struggle. It felt like home, warm, calm, and full of peace. Mary Thompson sat by the window, sunlight touching her face. She looked healthier now. The tired lines on her face had softened. Her hands no longer trembled. The constant cough was gone. On the table beside her sat a half-empty cup of tea and a small photo frame, a picture of her and Lily, smiling in the park. Every time she looked at it, she whispered, "We made it." Mary no longer worked at the diner or the cleaning job. The donations and community support had given her something she never had before: time to rest. But she didn't want to sit still forever. She wanted to give back. So, one morning, she walked into a local women's shelter and asked the lady at the front desk, "Do you take volunteers?" The woman smiled. "Always. What kind of help can you offer?" Mary smiled back. "I don't have money to give, but I can listen. I know what it's like to struggle alone." That's how it started. Every week, Mary went there to talk to other single mothers, women who felt invisible, just like she once did. She helped them find jobs, encouraged them to keep fighting, and told them, "You are not alone. The world still has good people in it. I've seen it with my own eyes." Meanwhile, Lily had become a little local celebrity at school. Teachers often mentioned her video when talking about kindness or hope. But Lily stayed humble. She always said the same thing: "I didn't do it for attention. I did it for my mom." Her classmates sometimes teased her, calling her the viral girl, but Lily didn't mind. Because every night when she came home, her mom was there, smiling, resting, living, and that was all she ever wanted. One weekend, the same local news channel that had first covered their story invited Mary and Lily for an interview, a "Where Are They Now" special. They sat on a small stage with bright lights, holding hands. The host smiled and said, "Mary, your story touched millions around the world. How has life changed since then?" Mary smiled gently. "It's changed completely. I used to think I was alone. I thought no one cared. But my daughter showed me that the world is still full of love. I learned that sometimes, Asking for help isn't weakness, it's courage. The audience clapped softly. Then the host turned to Lily. And you, young lady, you inspired people all over the country. What made you decide to make that video? Lily looked down for a moment, then said quietly. I just wanted my mom to rest. She always said she worked for me. I wanted to work for her, too. There was silence in the room, the kind of silence that feels holy. Even the cameraman wiped a tear. After the interview, Mary and Lily walked home together under a golden sunset. The streets looked the same as always, but something about them felt different, brighter, softer, kinder. Mary said, "Do you ever think about how all this started?" Lily smiled. "Yeah. With one video, and one dream." Mary nodded slowly. "Funny how love works. You give it quietly, and somehow, it comes back louder than ever." They both laughed. Later that night, after Lily went to bed, Mary stood by the window again. The city lights twinkled like stars below. She held her old wristwatch, the one Mr. Carter had given her when she left the diner. She remembered all the nights she worked past midnight, all the mornings she cried in silence, and all the times she told herself she couldn't go on but did anyway. Now, she finally understood something. Sometimes life doesn't give you miracles, until you create one for someone else. She whispered into the quiet night. Thank you, God, for giving me Lily. And for giving me one more chance to live. Weeks later, Mary helped organize a small community event called A Day of Hope. Single parents, neighbors, teachers, and even strangers showed up. They brought food, clothes, and donations for families in need. Mary stood on a small stage with a microphone, her voice trembling. A year ago, I was cleaning floors at night, wondering if anyone saw me. Today, I stand here surrounded by love. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this: never underestimate kindness. One act of love can change a life, maybe even the world. The crowd applauded, some crying openly. Lily ran up to hug her mom. You did it, Mom, she whispered. Mary smiled. No, we did it. The screen slowly fades to a montage. Mary helping at the shelter, laughing with other moms. Lily studying, painting, smiling. Letters arriving from around the world, all thanking them for reminding people that good still exists. Soft piano music swells as the narrator's voice says. Sometimes, the greatest stories aren't written in books or told on big screens. They're written in small apartments, late at night, by tired hands and loving hearts. A mother's sacrifice, a daughter's courage, and the kindness of strangers, together, they restored faith in humanity. The camera fades to black.